Hello once again, and welcome back to Hoosier History, Legends, and Heroes. This is my second video on Hoosier Medal of Honor recipients. If you haven't watched my video on Civil War officer James Archer of Spencer, Indiana, please give it a watch. With that video, I've introduced my new series of Indiana Medal of Honor winners. In my previous video, I showed a newspaper article listing Civil War Medal of Honor winners. Showing here is a list of Hoosier Medal of Honor winners that was published in the Indianapolis Star on November 11, 1962. Included in this list is the soldier I will be introducing you to in this video. John C. Wetherby was born on July 2, 1880, in Morgan County, Indiana, to Camp and Isabel Wetherby. John's father, Camp, was born in Alabama and was a soldier in the Civil War. He was actually taken prisoner during the Battle of Chattanooga and was imprisoned in Cincinnati. He would never return to his home in Alabama, but would finally settle in Morgan County, Indiana. He would marry twice and raise a family. John would lose his mother, Isabel, in 1888. This is John Wetherby when he was 17 years old. He would enlist in the Army in Indianapolis on October 28, 1898. His enlistment paperwork shows that he was 18 at the time of enlistment. He was 5 feet 6.5 inches tall. He had dark brown hair and blue eyes. His occupation was listed as a farmer, and his enlistment was for 3 years. I read that John wanted to join the Army and his father didn't want him to. Apparently, in 1898, at the age of 18, you still needed your parents' permission to enlist in the Army. John would tell his father if he didn't sign for him, he would lie about his age so he would be able to enlist. His father didn't want his time in the Army to start out like this, so his father would sign his approval. John would be assigned to the 4th U.S. Infantry. He was sent to Manila after he completed his training in January of 1899. In the Philippines, he was to serve with the Regimental Scouts because of his good marksmanship and behavior under fire. In 1898, America went to war with Spain after the explosion of the USS Maine, which was docked in the harbor at Havana, Cuba. This conflict would begin on April 21, 1898, and end on August 13, 1898. Because of this, America would acquire Spain's Pacific possessions. The Philippines had been under Spanish rule for the past 330 years. This led to our involvement in the Philippine Revolution. America did not grant the Philippines their own independence when the treaty was signed with Spain. An incident happened in February of 1899 which caused hostilities to erupt between the United States and the Philippines. The war ended in July 1902. It was scheduled for the Philippines to achieve full independence in 1944, but due to World War II and the occupation of the Japanese in the Philippines, independence would not happen until 1946. On November 20th, 1899, while his company was engaged in battle at Ines in the Philippines, John was sent by his commanding officer to deliver a message to the battalion commander. He would be severely wounded, receiving wounds to his right wrist, right lung, and left shoulder, which nearly took off his left arm. Falling to the ground, he crawled about 2 miles in this horrific condition to deliver his message. The message was requesting reinforcements, which would be sent, saving American lives. Private John Wetherby would die from his injuries on November 29, 1899, at the young age of 19, and buried in the Philippines. In the first part of the year 1900, John's body would be exhumed and returned to his Indiana home, to Martinsville and his father on March 17th. He would be buried in his family's burying place at Fry Cemetery, where his mother was laid to rest in 1888. A marble monument was placed at his grave, which was sent by his comrades, talking of his sacrifice. On April 25, 1902, Private John C. Wetherby was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. The citation states, "The President of the United States of America, in the name of Congress, takes pride in presenting the Medal of Honor posthumously to Private John C. Wetherby, United States Army, for most distinguished gallantry on 20 November 1899, while serving with Company L, 4th Infantry, in action at Imus, Luzon, Philippine Islands. While carrying important orders on the battlefield, Private Wetherby was desperately wounded and, being unable to walk, crawled far enough to deliver his orders." After being buried in the Philippines and his body being returned home, John is now buried in Fry Cemetery, Mahalasville, Morgan County, Indiana. As you can see in the pictures, John has his military headstone telling of his Medal of Honor. There is also the monument sent to him from the men of his regiment. In an article printed in the Martinsville Republican on March 29, 1900, it tells that Private John C. Wetherby was buried with military honors at the Fry Cemetery south of the city. On the procession to the cemetery, at the head of the column marched a firing squad of 8 men under the command of a Sergeant Henderson. The remainder of the company, in full uniform, followed immediately in rear of the hearse. The pallbearers were all ex-soldiers of the regular army. In May of 1992, there was another dedication for a new monument that replaced a broken one. Morgan County has remembered John by including him in the Morgan County Hall of Fame, and the Martinsville Kiwanis Club honored him in 2004. John's family made a permanent loan to the Morgan County Library, which is located in Martinsville, of John's Medal of Honor and his certificate. What you are looking at here is John's medal. If anyone is interested in seeing John's Medal of Honor, it can be viewed at the library in Martinsville. I want to thank you for watching this video telling the story of 19-year-old John Wetherby's heroic actions in November of 1899, in which he would make the ultimate sacrifice for his fellow soldiers and for his country. Please support this channel by subscribing. Also like, share, and leave a comment. Be sure to click on the notification bell so that you will be notified when the next Hoosier History, Legends, and Heroes video is uploaded. Until next time.